Can I ask a question about piracy?
Piracy, yeah, if it's relevant.
My name is Claes Nordfeldt, Swedish taxpayer, with a background of some 20 plus years in international service industry being based around the world. As a consumer, I have to pay more for every item I buy which is imported from China due to increased shipping expenses due to piracy. That's one question. What do you do about this? My second question is, as an active sailor and member of several international sailing organizations, some 10 years ago we advised members to avoid Gulf of Aden or to sail in a flotilla. Nowadays, we strongly advise members not even considering to sail through the Indian Ocean. So the situation has gone from bad to worse. What do I expect for the future? Thank you.
Who would be an expert in that? Do you want to? Yeah.
I'm definitely not an expert, but I think this is also new trends that we see. And I think it goes both with, with piracy, this issue is also, of course, affecting because there's a lot of huge interests here that would like to stay Somalia as a shelter and without laws, without order, without fully fledged democracy, without transparency in order to keep good businesses going on and growing and expanding. And this is an increasing problem for many island states and others to see that this is more a reality these days, as you said. How do we deal with this? I think it's one of those issues that the government of UK has invited us now to go to in February to see really with the root causes, do we have enough legal opportunities to deal with this? You know also that Sweden was involved in Atalanta, but that's also again to try to contain the situation, and we were there in order to help to have humanitarian access and to make boats coming in. But I think this is something where we also have to understand that the oceans now need to be regulated. We need to be able to survey them, and we need also to try to figure out how can we stop this. It's not an easy thing, and it's also a matter of reality that makes not only your consumer goods from China more expensive in Sweden, it's also making it even more difficult for entrepreneurs in huge parts of Africa to have prices at its right costs, and also for humanitarian assistance, of course. So we are dealing with these things, but I think it's a new political arena that we are entering, and we need to also deal with peace and security at sea much more than we have done before.
Can I add one comment around that?
Sure.
It's also a question of livelihoods, again, because those waters were very, very fish rich. And large fleets from other countries have fished out almost all of the fish. I don't say that you have to become a pirate, but it may be an alternative livelihood now that has come up. It's the same in Sudan with the Janjaweed, who, when their livelihoods were depleted, they are suddenly fearful soldiers. And there are interrelationships that we need to be much more careful about in the world. These things don't come out of nothing.
Next question. Yes, over there.
Annika Alefelt, tidningen Sändaren. I'm just asking about these 16 aid organizations. The news came out a week ago or something. Have they actually left? I heard that the Norwegians were staying on, hoping that things would be better. And what impact has this actually had on the area, or will have, do you think?
We're assessing the impact, well, we've been assessing the impact, the potential impact since the announcement was made. The situation is not clear, as you say, because although the announcement was made, there are clear divisions within Al-Shabaab about whether organizations should stay or go. So a number of organizations are actually still there. So all of this is being looked at right now. But the announcement was made, but the reality on the ground is rather more murky than that.
Yeah. Well, we have up there, yes. Then.
Thank you so much. My name is Maria Lindbeck, and I'm a student here at the National Defense College. My question is about the role of the African Union because it hasn't even been mentioned. And Minister Carlsson was talking about African solutions, and I'm just wondering your thoughts about this.
Who want to start?
Here again, and Valerie also touched upon this, that it's a little bit hard also to deal with the Horn of Africa because the different countries that are affected by the drought do not really work together regionally, to put it mildly. And how to first do the humanitarian assistance, but then also to have the long-term solutions, because it's also about flows in goods, capital, livelihoods. It's about mobility of people, it's returning, having exchanges. How can we organize these things? And there I hope that with these regional organizations, not only the African Union, but also, for example, East Africa Community and others, that this could be developed in order also to show the thrill and the dividend, actually, that could come out of more of peace and security and cooperation in order to make people ask for more of this and less of conflicts and prejudice. It would take a lot of time to overcome this, and the African Union should really be appreciated with doing the Amazon, allowing things, helping us to assist financially, training facilities, but where Uganda and Burundi has really tried to help the transitional institutions to keep Mogadishu and to extend their area of, I couldn't call it jurisdiction, but at least there is a lot of good things going on in African Union to start up and to have these capacities. And sometimes I'm frustrated because I think they should do more, but then I'm starting to realize how little European Union can do. So we have also to recognize that this is a rather new organization that are stumbling now and then, that sometimes are making their mistakes, but also that really are demanding to be respected. And I think that's the only way to solve the problem. There will be no Swedish soldiers on the streets of Mogadishu. Because I think we need to see that you have African solution to African problems, but we should assist. And how do we figure these things out? And one way is to strengthen the capacity of AU, both in democracy but also in peace and security. But this will take a while, and thereby also the United Nations will become so crucial to get their acts together, to work coordinated, better than today, I must say. You should be astonished if you know today that we have so little coordination, but we are working on it. But I mean,
happy to hear.
So again, UN is very important. African Union for sure has a role to play, and we should really try to balance this, because we are doing a lot of things on peace and security, but not to overdo it in order to have the space and the opportunity for African Union to expand and to grow in capacity. And here I think it's good investments of Swedish taxpayers' money to help to build African capacity, whether it's in nations or within those regional corporations. Thank you for the question. Sorry for being so lengthy.
No. Just very quickly, I agree with all of that. There are three areas where the African Union has been playing a role. One is military in terms of AMISOM, as the Minister mentioned. The second is political, obviously, and all the debates and discussions around the how you support the Somali internal domestic process, which is ongoing over the next year. And the third is that there was a recognition, there were a lot of calls in the middle of the year about, well, what is it that African countries are doing to support Somalia and the wider Horn. So the African Union had their own pledging conference, which was really focused on the African countries coming forward to give aid and assistance. But I think we should also not forget the regional organizations like IGAD, which have also played a significant and important role.
A last short question, because we have to end this. Yes.
My name is Sirka Lisarol, and I'm a teacher, and that's why I'm interested about the school system and what you do.
I think we all know that education is at the heart of the development, and one of the things that I didn't mention is the crucial role that women play in the whole way that we look at recovery activities to help communities back on their feet, but also longer-term development and reconstruction activities. And at the heart of all of that is making sure that education is at the heart of what we do, and that in particular we focus on the education of girls and women. It's very difficult. I mean, it's one of the really contested areas in Somalia, because of course in south central Somalia with Al-Shabaab, you have an organization that has very firm ideological views about the role of women. And I think that, moving beyond what we're doing in terms of the immediate humanitarian response effort, there's a lot of work we have to do in terms of building that culture to enable support for educational development.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much all for coming, and please thank the panel. Sorry.
I was just officially to thank the Under-Secretary General, our Minister, Eva von Oelreich and Pia Prytz for sharing these views with us. I think the enormity of the problem is perhaps described to us, but also perhaps some ways of dealing with them that we need to address and stick to if we are going to at least help solving them. So thank you so much for coming, and thank you so much for you braving the weather and attending this seminar today. Thank you so much.